Hey there everyone, it's AJ and it is time for another video, and in today's video we are delving into the world of that time I got reincarnated as a slime. I've already actually recorded the footage for this, so what we're going to do is a bit of voiceover for it because it is quite a long piece and I've sort of narrowed the time down so that it's in a nicer size. So I'm going to do some voiceover, talk a little bit about the anime as well as what I am doing and some of the things that I did in order to make this piece come to life. So I hope you enjoy. Please hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to be notified as to when I post videos, and I will see you on the voiceover. Right, so it's time for the voiceover, and I actually really enjoyed this piece. I just wanted to start off by saying that. And to begin with, what I did was I just focused on sort of thumbnailing and getting to grips with how I wanted this scene to sort of play out. The two characters that I've chosen to do are the slime and Sheena, because I think they kind of go nice hand in hand. They've got some complementary colours as well going there. They've got the sort of blue with Rimuru, and then the sort of pink hair for Sheena. And yeah, I just really like that sort of style that they've got going with that kind of sort of that Japanese-esque type attire as well. And I just thought it was really kind of cool to do that. And I really wanted to do this, focus on this sort of scene of them looking out across some sort of landscape or something. I really do like using those types of scenes just purely because I feel as though they are just sort of like nice. They're sort of like contemplative, and I am actually in a sort of a contemplative type of state at the moment, just kind of like still thinking a little bit about how things are going and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of one of those sort of things. I then moved on to going over the top with a rough, not necessarily a rough, but sort of a more refined rough sketch, if that makes sense. I don't know how that really works once I'd sort of settled on this sort of landscape type thing. And I really enjoyed doing this, kind of like forming out some more of the clothes and the landscape a bit better as well. And I just really enjoyed doing that type of part of it as well, sort of like focusing on the hair. I do change the hair eventually once I go through, but yeah, then I lighten it up again, and then this time I go over the top. This is more of a sort of how would you call it, a not necessarily a sort of more darker line. So I'm sort of like trying to really figure out things now and get into how I want this piece to look. And so it's sort of like a rough inking maybe phase. I'm not really sure on how to call this. It's definitely still more of a sketchy phase where I'm just figuring it out and stuff. And then I really start going into sort of more cleaner lines and getting to sort of how I want that. At one point during this, luckily I hadn't gone too far into it, Pandora, thank you Pandora, decided that she wanted some attention and went and sat on the keyboard and somehow managed to delete some of the stuff that I'd managed to do. And I could not retrieve it. I have no idea where that went, why undo didn't work, but it had gone forever. Here I'm focusing on the eyes, which is something that I really want to do. What I've tried to do with this piece is not spend a lot of time zoomed in. On other pieces that I've done, I realised that I've zoomed in quite a bit, and I kind of wanted to really do that. But with the eyes, I felt that I needed to sort of do that zoom in, just so that I've got an idea of just so that I've got a like sort of a view idea type thing, basically, of how I want to continue, like sort of like do that. The mouth was a bit challenging to do, to be fair, and eventually I managed to settle on a mouth. I realised just where I was going wrong with it in the end, but I did kind of just do something a little bit initially and then just go away from it just to have a think about it and move on to something else, because as you can see here, I'm kind of going into the mouth a bit too much to try and figure it out and stuff. So then I moved on to the hair. Now the hair is quite an interesting thing. I didn't really necessarily do like a lot. I kind of was very loose with the hair. I didn't want to go into too much detail. The good thing about this character is they are not sort of, they're kind of they've not got too much going on about them, so it gives me an opportunity to really sort of focus on that. I did move the hair position around a bit just because I felt that it wasn't in the greatest sort of light, sort of greatest position. I did just on like the bit of the back of the dress or the kimono or whatever it is, the hakama, that's the word that I'm looking for, hakama. I kind of put that in the wrong sort of position. The sketches that I did were much better than the actual ending piece, which is something that I can reflect upon for that. So I need to really sort of focus and pay attention on that in the future. I then moved on to like doing the sort of like thickness of the lines. I kind of went back in and did another sort of line drawing just over the top. I felt that I just needed to solidify it a little bit more and really get into that and deal with sort of that type of thing. And I kind of really paid attention and really focused on that. So with the colour, what I went and did, is that even English? What I did was I blocked out the initial colours first, and kind of, as I say, I'm still trying to learn digital art, and I'm just kind of focusing on and getting like clipping layers and things like that, so that I'm not really too bad with that. And then I can really get on to doing that. And I used a sort of chalk brush to kind of do the blending thing. As you can see, I kind of jumped a little bit. I kind of somewhere along the line missed up with some of the recording. Some of the recording disappeared. But I'm actually really quite happy with the overall result of the colour. So yeah, what I'm going to do is, because I'm still not 100% like okay with the colour, I'm just going to end the sort of audio here and let you watch the rest in a sort of with a bit of background music. So, and I will come back with a few final words.